If you've ever been to a large souvenir store in Costa Rica or wandered around the airport in San Jose, you've probably seen the colorful wooden masks that are carved into faces, animals, or a mixture of both. But unless you travel to the southernmost area of the Valle del General, that's the only part of the Boruca indigenous culture that you're likely to see.
Join us as we talk about one of the largest Boruca celebrations that is open to the public, where you can witness these masks in action during their Juego or Danza de los Diablitos, or the game or dance of the Little Devils, on today's episode of Polly in Paradise.
The Boruca, also known as the Brunca, are actually a collection of smaller indigenous tribes that inhabited most of the southern Pacific coastal area, from modern-day Quepos by the Manuel Antonio National Park, down through the Panamanian border, before the Spanish conquistadores arrived. As such, the resulting Boruca language is also a mixture, but comes from the Chicha language family, and is nearly extinct.
More recent preservation efforts between the tribe and the Costa Rican government have begun to reverse this trend, with Boruca now being taught in the schools on their land, in addition to the Spanish taught all over the country. Economically, the Boruca, like many indigenous groups here, primarily rely on small-scale agriculture, as well as the sale of their handiworks, the aforementioned wooden masks, as well as colorfully woven bags, pouches, and purses.
The majority of the Boruca today live near one of two villages, Relocate, located about 90 kilometers or an hour and a half south of San Isidro del General, on either side of the Inter-American Highway, and the village of Boruca, situated not far from Relocate, but on top of the mountains that overlook the Rio Teraba, which is what the Rio General becomes after it is joined by the Rio Cotobruz in nearby Paso Real. These areas remained largely unsettled by non-indigenous people until the construction of the Inter-American Highway, an issue that was a large point of contention with the Boruca, as well as later plans that resurface every now and again to construct a dam for hydropower. We'll have a future video about the often complicated relationship between the government of Costa Rica and the indigenous tribes.
For this video, you just need to know that these two villages are where the annual Juego de los Diablitos takes place, either at the end of January for Relocate, or the days right before and after the new year at the Boruca village. Regardless of which festival you attend, you will be sure to see a lot of commonalities. It's a time of celebration for the Boruca people, to commemorate that time when the initial conquistadores came to their land and were successfully repelled by the people. They accomplished this by first covering their bodies with leaves, and then their faces with ferocious-looking carved masks. Imagine being in the mountainous jungles at night in a foreign land, with all sorts of strange animal calls surrounding you. And then these little devils suddenly appear.
It would certainly make me reconsider exploring that place, especially for someone else's monetary gain. Every year, the game of the Little Devils starts first by being born on top of a hill at midnight, with the sound of a conch shell blown by an elder, echoing their own creation legend of being La Gente de la Ceniza, or the people of the ash. The next morning, the bull, symbolizing the Spanish foreigners, arrives, resulting in several days' worth of battles between the Little Devils and the bull. The bull repeatedly charges, while the Little Devils deftly dodge away, taunting and trying to whip the bull with sticks. Musicians accompany the devils with the sounds of flutes, horns, drums, and conch shells. The whole group will dance like this for a while and then proceed to another place in the village, often at houses where an elder has passed the previous year, to pay homage to their families.
Something you'll probably notice during this part of the festivities is the presence of a yellow beverage, either in 5-gallon buckets located throughout the village, or being drunk from a bowl made from a jicama or calabash fruit. This is Chicha, a fermented corn beverage, like a beer, that takes 1 to 2 months to prepare. And it's shared with the larger community, the Diablitos, the bowl, the elders, and, if you're lucky, visitors as well. I had a great chat at this last festival in Boruca with one of the elders who had made the batch that we got to enjoy. The pride in his handiwork is evident, and he wanted us to keep drinking more and more. But since it's fermented, it does contain a bit of alcohol in it, so keep that in mind, especially on hot days. You'll want to make sure you stay hydrated, either by bringing your own water or purchasing some at places around the villages, like the salon comunales or community centers, where drinks may also be purchased.
After a couple days of the dances, the bull gains the upper hand and kills the little devils, with the elder Diablito, representing the chief, being the last to fall. The bull uses this respite to escape and take refuge in the mountains, after which the mayor blows the conch shell again and brings the Diablitos back to life. They relentlessly hunt for the bull then, and once found, engage in a series of final battles that results in the bull being set on fire, and the parts that fall off are passed around to the people watching. More chicha is consumed then, representing the bull's blood, and the victory concludes by burning the rest of the bull.
We've been lucky to witness different parts of this procession in both of the villages over the last couple of years. We've yet to see the birth of the Diablitos or the death and rebirth of them, but we've watched them do battle with the bull every time and witnessed the victory celebrations in Relocate last year. You can see the pride of the Boruca people on full display, regardless of which part of the festivities you're able to take part in. From the Chicha brewers to the weavers who make the beautiful natural dye bags, the mask artisans, the musicians, and the elders carefully observing the proceedings, making sure that no Diablito is left behind.
The elders also keep the raucous Diablitos and even the bull in line, like during the last festival we went to in Boruca, where the bull ended up knocking both myself and an elder down as they moved to the next location. The bull was sharply reprimanded after the elder made sure that I was okay, which I thought was evident before he asked me because I was laughing the entire time. And no, it wasn't the chicha making me laugh. I simply told him I was fine, and I thought that was to be expected as part of the celebrations, and a great story to tell.
We've always had a great time there, and always come back with purchases, either gifts for friends and family or for ourselves. In addition to the famous masks, depending on which store you visit, you can also purchase water jugs, napkin and pen holders made from jicama shells, drums, jewelry, and even bows and arrows. As we mentioned before, drinks are available for purchase as well as food. More options exist both for souvenirs and food in the Boruca village, which is a bit larger and has been celebrating the Juego de los Diablitos for longer.
However, it's a bit more remote as well, being located on the mountains above the river instead of directly next to the Inter-American Highway. If you go during dry season, which is when this fiesta takes place, there are a couple of ways to get to the village, but one is definitely more rugged, so a 4x4 will certainly make your trip easier. It's also a bit cooler there, owing to the higher altitude and breezes that are more frequent than we've witnessed in Relocate. They also have a fantastic little museum in the village that's free of admission, although the exhibits and descriptions are all in Spanish and Boruca.
So even if you're not able to visit during this fiesta, the shops in both villages, as well as the museum, will be open. And you can even take special tours and workshops to dig into the history, lore, and craft of this resilient group of people. And regardless of the time of year you go, you probably want to make sure you bring water and protection against the sun. Cell service can also be a bit hit and miss at both locations, so make sure you have your directions loaded before you go, and downloading a Spanish dictionary if you're not fluent is also not a bad idea.
Have you ever gone to one of the Boruca villages? Have any other advice to offer? Leave your comments and suggestions down below. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos about some of the other Indigenous people of Costa Rica. Thank you in advance for liking and sharing our videos, and we'll see you next time on
Poly in Paradise.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching that video. Related videos are on screen now for you to check out. Before you leave, please help us support Mac and Skye by commenting, liking, and subscribing. They need lots of treats and grooming supplies here on their adventures, and they want you to follow us on ours as well.